Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Mechbay. Today we're looking at the Panther 9R. This is a mech that you'll see very commonly early on in your campaign, may even build yourself one or two of them, and that's what I really want to talk about today. I don't want to do anything super fancy. We're not going to be introducing, say, late game clan tech for that upgrade after you go into clan space and get all of that junk out of the way. What I instead want to talk about is how do you use this mech in BTA 3062 to survive the early game, because that's sort of what it is. It's one of the heavier light mechs that you'll see. The movement speed is not phenomenal, but 4.7's not too shabby either. The main bonus to this thing is you get a PPC on a 35-ton mech, and that's pretty advantageous. However, standard armor, per usual, is nothing to write home about, and that needs to be fixed. So, as I've said in some of the earlier rebuilds, I guess, one thing that's not too terribly hard to either pick up or buy in BTA 3062 is standard inner sphere ferrofibrous. And light mechs like this tend to have lots of free slots, so we don't even care that it reserves 14. We have way more than we need. So if you go ahead and up armor, we're still 1.688 tons overweight. And here's where I'm going to make a bit of an observation. This mech is meant to deal huge amounts of damage from range and maybe not die if it gets in close combat, right? That's why it has the SRM 4 here in its center. Why, if that's the role, does this thing have a jump range of 4 off of 1, 2, 3, 4 separate jump jets? I don't really think that's necessary. This consumes a full 2 tons of your free tonnage. So we're going to rip those off. We have 0.312 tons remaining, and that's alright. In case you're wondering, by the way, the engine core is so small that we actually have to have these heat sinks here or we get engine trouble. Or, wait, is that not? It should be giving me that. Well, I apologize if I'm incorrect on that. This looks like, -5. I was thinking a smaller core. So we could also pull out some heat sinks, and I think we're going to, and I'll tell you why. If we rip off this one heatsink, we're still sinking 48, only alpha striking for 33, and we can tear off the SRM4, go over here, find our SRM6s, and throw in an SRM6. This is the most you can really get out of your CT space, so putting in a large gyro or a large standard engine will be a bit of a problem. You can move the heatsink around, and that'll get you one extra spot, but I think some of these need 1 to 2. Particularly hard to have a larger gyro and engine in that, and keep the SRM6 in that center mounted missile slot. This ups your close range and medium range damage as well, maintains the PPC, your heat sinking is still fine, and now we have maximum armor, which I think makes this design overall much more survivable, if not something that you want to be carrying into the late game. Although, if you do decide to stick with it, per usual, I'd recommend a clan upgrade, and here's the thing. If you go over into your engines, an XL engine on this thing gives you 2.8 tons extra space. But what are you really going to use that for? Right? So we can go over into weapons and we can look at, and the obvious answer is just throw some medium lasers on here. But that really, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm sold on that. I think if you're going to throw medium lasers on here, you should go for a different design altogether. PPC is meant to be fired at range. You're supposed to be sitting in the mountains, in the hills, far away from the enemy, and just taking 1 PPC shot every turn. If I start throwing medium lasers on here, well, their range tops out at 360 meters, right? So we've made our mech much more fragile to return fire, indirect fire, AoE fire, which you will see in 3062 anyway, because if even a single torso dies, that's it, and you only have 40 on the back of each of your torsos, only 80 on the front. And as long as you're far away from the enemy, there's no real gain here. Plus, this is so much additional heat that now you do have a problem with heat sinking. So, my own 2 cents, don't try and make too much out of this mech, just let it be what it is. And what it is long-range, direct fire support when it's all you can afford. Alright, that's all we've got for today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.